Well, Lyft got me again. Even though I've been making more money with Lyft lately than Uber, it's been bothering me more that Lyft keeps getting me because I like Lyft better. Like, it's been paying me more per ride, per mile. And I think I figured out how they got me this time. I took a couple rides. I was only at about $43. And I noticed some of the ride had bonuses. You know, you get the $3 bonus or the $2 bonus. What they're doing now is the minute I got a ride that paid me a tip, I got one person that gave me like a $3 tip. What they're doing is now they're getting smarter. So instead of taking down the base fare, now they're taking down the bonus amounts. And I didn't realize it until after I spoke to the rep. I thought they were just lowering the base fare. Now they'll keep the base fare the same. And instead of, say, a $3 bonus, they'll take it down to $1, where you might not notice it. And I didn't catch it. So it's getting trickier and trickier to catch them. Now I got a rep on the phone, which requires a lot of patience. It really does. It requires a lot of patience and time. It took a little bit longer today. I did a video where I got him on the phone right away, but it takes a little bit longer now to get him on the phone. Finally got a guy on the phone. He claims he couldn't find any rides that they lowered the base fare or they didn't do anything to the tip. I didn't check the bonuses on the rides. I didn't pay attention to that part. But he issued me a $6 bonus. And I still think they shorted me $3 additional on top of the $6. But I was happy to get the $6. But why would they even issue me anything if they weren't at fault? Let that sink in for a minute. I don't believe that they would have issued me anything additional if they were not at fault. The rep claimed he went through all my rides. It wasn't a lot. It was maybe like 5 rides. He claimed he went through all of them. Couldn't find where they lowered the fare on any of them, but I forgot to check the amounts on the bonuses. And a lot of you are like, screenshot every ride, but that's very difficult when you get a groove. You're getting your groove on, you're going back between Uber and Lyft, and it's getting increasingly hard to pay attention. Even if you can't screenshot a ride when you immediately pick up another ride after that ride. Makes it very difficult, because on Lyft I got it where it doesn't auto give me a ride, but I'll get a ping and then I'll accept that ping and then I'm on to the next ride. And occasionally on the way picking up the passenger, I try to look to see what the total dollar amount that I got before I get the next person. I was at about $43 before I took the last $9 ride. So I should have been around $52 they owed me at that point. So I ended the ride, that last ride, to pay me $9. I'm thinking, yeah, I should be at about 52. But I got a $3 tip kicked in. I saw a tip, $3. The minute the $3 tip kicked in, I saw how the numbers roll, and my total ended up being $46. I'm like, I just made $9 and I got a $3 tip. How am I only at 46 when it was just 43? They got me again. And even with Lyft getting me, I'm making more money than I am on the Uber side, because Uber offers is just ridiculous now. It's just simply ridiculous. They want you to go 1,000,000 miles away. They want you to have stops in between and pay you like $5, $6. They want you to do shared rides. I don't accept any shared rides for obvious reasons. It's too frustrating, complicated for the passengers to understand. You go to pick somebody up on a shared ride and it says it's one person and it ends up being 3. Now what happens if you go get the next person? I don't do them at all anymore. I don't do any shared rides on Uber anymore. Another reason why I like Lyft better. I like you got the area filter. That's another reason why I like Lyft. And I don't like Uber. But Lyft scamming me again and again and again is becoming increasingly annoying. They did give me $6, but I think I'm still owed like $3. See, they can't take your tip by law, but they could take your bonus money. If they gave you a $5 ride and then they added on a $3 bonus, they could take that $3 bonus back later. And a lot of us won't catch it. We simply won't catch it. We're too busy to be catching every little dollar. Now, this might sound petty, and I understand it does sound petty, but think about the consequences of they take $3 to $6 from every driver. There's millions of drivers. Millions. And David Risher was just bragging about how they're saving all this money on insurance. They're going to start giving it back to the drivers. And he was just bragging about that in the news. And I am seeing an increase per mile per minute on rides that if Uber would have offered it, it would have been like their famous $3.95 rides that could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes, and they still want to offer you $3.95 base fare. Lyft is offering me $6, $7, and sometimes $8. But that's including these little bonuses that they have that they can lower later on. And that's where they're getting us, on these bonus amounts. Mark my words, watch these bonuses. When you see your total for the day, and if you feel like you got shorted a couple dollars, it's usually when you get the tip, but they can't make it look like they're taking your tip, so they'll lower these bonus amounts. The bonus mysteriously goes from like a $3 bonus added to a ride to a $1 bonus. And I caught it, I really analyzed it and caught it after I hung up with the rep. And I was satisfied with the $6 bonus they gave me. And that's why they're giving it to you in bonuses too. Because it looks like they're not stealing your tips. But technically, they could be stealing your tips. They're trying to take, God forbid if you got like a large tip, like $10 tip in the app. All your bonus money would just go down on each ride. And it's really getting annoying. It's really getting annoying, but this is why a lot of drivers are giving up. A lot of drivers are leaving the apps because they're fed up. And honestly, I got to start doing more on the courier side. Even if I go private, I want to do more on the courier side and deliveries, because that's where the real money's made, especially in medical deliveries, off the apps, and go directly to these companies that pay drivers better, because they don't scam you. They pay you per mile, per minute. You get a breakdown of exactly what they're paying you. And if you make a deal with some of these companies at an independent contractor, you're setting your rate. You're showing them, this is what I want to get paid. Uber and Lyft, they're dead in 5 years anyway. This is the busy season though, so I figured, I could pick up a couple rides and I'll be good because we're in the busy season right now and I'm making more money on the Lyft side. But eventually it's going to be to the point where I give up on both Uber and Lyft. Definitely Uber's going first. Uber hasn't really, it's just become a filler app where occasionally I'll turn it on when Lyft is slow, but that's all it is, a filler app. And I do take off-platform rides, and I don't have my commercial insurance yet. I'm working on it. I know I got to go 100% legal. I'm still working on that, and I'm still working on my new entity as well, my new business structure. So it's going to be a while before I'm 100% legal, but I'm working on it. But these apps are really for the birds. And Lyft, if somebody from Lyft is listening, the scamming has got to stop. I call it Shady, but it's really scamming drivers. And I'm thinking I'm good. David Risher is bragging about they got all this extra money because they got some deal in California that saved them millions on commercial insurance. Millions. Because they don't even want to pay high insurance rates anymore for drivers. So eventually every driver is going to have their own commercial and rideshare insurance, or you're not going to be covered. So we're going to have to get that regardless. You're going to have to do what you got to do, work it into your budget. And honestly, for what I'm seeing, the rideshare insurance is almost as expensive as just getting your own commercial insurance. You could probably find a decent commercial insurance policy for probably $500 a month. And I know we don't want to pay it. But we got to eventually pay it because, as you can see, Uber and Lyft don't want to cover us anyway. And God forbid we do get in an accident, they're not going to want to cover it regardless. So they're going to do everything in their power not to pay it. That's my rant for today. The Lyft scam continues. I don't even know why I'm going to title this video, but it should be The Lyft Scam Continues. But I'm going to go back to my day and get a couple more rides in. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you.